Everyone tells you that success comes from saying yes. Yes to opportunities. Yes to people. Yes to growth. But the truth? Saying yes too often is exactly what's keeping most people stuck. The real winners, the people who move faster, think clearer, and achieve more, they're the ones who learn to say no. Relentlessly. Ruthlessly. Without guilt. Think about it. How many times have you said yes to something that drained your time, your focus, your energy, just because you didn't want to disappoint someone? Maybe you agreed to another meeting, another favor, another project that didn't really align with your goals. And then, later that night, you sit there exhausted, realizing that your day was hijacked by things that didn't even matter to you. You're busy, but you're not moving. You're saying yes, but you're not progressing. You're spreading yourself thin, thinking you're building momentum, when in reality, you're scattering it. Here's the paradox. Saying no, not yes, is what actually creates more opportunity. It sounds wrong, right? We've been told since childhood that being open and agreeable is the key to success. Say yes to every chance, every invitation, every path that might lead somewhere. But that's the lie. Because when you say yes to everything, you're not being open, you're being distracted. You're dividing your power into 1,000 little pieces. True success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing less, but doing it deeply, with intention, and saying no to everything that doesn't serve that intention. Let's break this down. The first reason this paradox works is simple: focus. Every yes is a withdrawal from your mental bank account. You only have so much attention, so much energy, so much creative bandwidth. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something vital. Warren Buffett once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." He wasn't exaggerating. He was describing a mindset, the ability to protect your focus like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. The second reason is clarity. Saying no forces you to decide what actually matters to you. Most people drift through life reacting to whatever comes their way. Someone asks for help? Yes. A new opportunity appears? Yes. A random event pops up? Yes. But when you practice saying no, you start asking yourself, does this align with my vision, my values, my priorities? You stop being a passenger in your own life and start being the driver. And clarity is what separates the high performers from the endlessly busy. Here's the third, and maybe most uncomfortable, truth. Saying no earns respect. We think people will like us more if we say yes, but the opposite is true. When you always agree, people start to assume your time isn't valuable. They see you as available, not intentional. But when you set boundaries, when you choose carefully and deliberately, people pay attention. Your yes becomes meaningful. It carries weight. Think of the leaders, creators, or thinkers you admire. None of them are available to everyone, all the time. Their limited yes is part of what makes it powerful. Now, let's make this real. Imagine your life as a garden. Every yes is a seed you plant. Sounds nice, right? But here's the catch. If you plant everything that comes your way, your garden turns into a jungle. Nothing grows well. Everything competes for sunlight. You get chaos, not beauty. But if you choose your seeds carefully, you get a masterpiece. You can't grow everything. You're not supposed to. Saying no is how you make room for what deserves to grow. Let's take an example from the real world: Steve Jobs. When he returned to Apple in the late 90s, the company had dozens of projects going on. He cut almost all of them. People were shocked. But that ruthless focus saved the company. He said, "Deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do." That's not minimalism. That's strategy. It's a rejection of distraction in favor of mastery. Or look at athletes at the top of their game. They don't train for 10 different sports. They say no to almost everything that doesn't directly improve performance in one specific area. The best aren't the ones who say yes to every possible path. They're the ones who shut out all noise to follow a narrow one with precision. The power of their success lies not in addition, but elimination. And here's something we rarely talk about. Saying no is an act of self-respect. When you say no, you're not rejecting others. You're protecting your future self. You're saying, "I value my time, my energy, and my purpose too much to spend them carelessly." It's not selfish, it's sustainable. Because burnout doesn't come from doing hard work. It comes from doing too much of the wrong work. The things that dilute your energy instead of sharpening it. Now, if you're thinking, okay, I get it, but how do I actually start saying no without feeling like a jerk? Let's talk about that. The first step is to create a filter. Before you agree to anything, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. Does this align with my top priorities right now? 2. Will saying yes move me forward or just make me feel busy? And 3. If I say yes to this, what am I saying no to instead? Because you're always trading something, your time, your focus, your peace. The second step is to delay your response. Most of us say yes impulsively. We feel pressure in the moment and agree before we've thought it through. Practice saying, "Let me get back to you." That simple phrase creates space for better decisions. It replaces guilt-driven yes with clarity-driven choices. Third, set no defaults. For example, you can decide that you don't take unscheduled calls or you don't attend meetings without clear agendas. When you set rules like that, you remove emotional friction. You don't have to keep deciding. The decision is already made. Fourth, reframe how you communicate no. You don't need to be harsh or defensive. Try saying, "I appreciate the offer, but it's not the right fit for me right now." Or, "I wish I could, but I'm focused on something specific at the moment." Polite, firm, clear. You're not closing doors. You're choosing which ones to walk through. And finally, track your yes. Literally. Write them down for a week. You'll be surprised how many of them don't serve your bigger goals. Seeing that list will make it painfully clear why your energy feels scattered. And once you see it, you'll never unsee it. Because here's the truth. Every no you say to the wrong thing is actually a yes to the right one. Every boundary you draw creates space for better opportunities, deeper work, and real progress. You can't do meaningful work if you're saying yes to meaningless things. You can't be exceptional if you're always available. You can't grow in every direction. Only trees that reach for one patch of sky actually touch the sun. So next time you hesitate to say no, remember this. Your no is not rejection, it's redirection. It's how you protect your power. It's how you create the space for the things that matter to finally take root and thrive. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't the ones who do the most. They're the ones who refuse the most. Saying no isn't about being closed off. It's about being selective. It's about living intentionally, not reactively. The world doesn't reward the busiest. It rewards the most focused. And every no you say is a quiet declaration that you know exactly who you are and what you're here to do. So, if you want more success, more clarity, more freedom, start by saying less yes. You'll be amazed at how much power you've been giving away and how much of it comes back when you simply decide to say no. If that hit home for you, don't just move on. Hit that like button, subscribe for more paradoxical wisdom every week, and drop a comment below. What's one thing you need to start saying no to today? Because your next big breakthrough might begin with one small, deliberate no.